Hey, what's up? I'm Sam Christie, and this is the Time Tune Time podcast, a music opinion and advice podcast and videocast. We talk about our opinions. What am I listening to? What do you listen to? Any music news going on there in the world, we talk about it. If you're an artist or a musician and you need advice on anything music industry related, touring, social media, songwriting, no question is too small. I work in the music tech industry, and I've been in a few fairly successful bands, so I'd be happy to field your questions, and if I can't answer them, I can help you find the answer. We'll also sprinkle in some life lessons for you in there, just because we like you. Okay, there we go. There we go, episode 2 here. Time Tune Time, podcast, videocast. Get this out of here. Way too hot. I just gotta check the levels there. Make sure it's all good, and it is, like it always is. So it's it's Christmas time. It's holiday time. If you're offended by the word Christmas, you can turn this off because we're talking about Christmas music. Okay, you turn on the radio, you call on the radio and you complain about Christmas? No, you don't. So you know what? Don't complain about this, about me talking about Christmas, okay? Specifically, I'm going to talk a little bit about Christmas music, why I hate most of it. Also going to get a little bit into my favorite albums of this year. Not a definitive list, but just off the top of my head, what I've been jamming to all year. Check out some vinyl, as we like to do our little vinyl viewings here, and of course we'll get in some advice from the budding musicians and the community. And if you like this video, share, comment, subscribe, and we appreciate you, the viewer. So on the topic of Christmas music, I don't like it. Period. On to the next topic. Now, you know what? It's a little hot in here. Got to disrobe here. You can see if you're listening on video or watching on video, which you are because I don't have an audio version yet. You'll see this nice Adventure Time shirt. Great show, great shirt. That's how we do it. The thing I don't like about Christmas music is, how can I put my finger on this here? Mostly, when I say Christmas music, I mean your classical Christmas music. Your no lyrics, it's not rock and roll Christmas music. It's classical, and it's harps, violins. I don't need that. Okay, get that out of here. It's not that I don't like classical music, but it kind of just brings back these memories of putting up the tree as a family. And then my mom would always be like, "Oh, we need to put the Christmas music on. We need to get in the spirit. Don't you want to get in the holiday spirit?" My mom doesn't really sound like this, but don't you want to get in the holiday spirit with this Christmas music? I just love the Christmas music. Just put it on, just for me, Sam, please. I want to have a happy Christmas and just be happy putting up the tree. And you bring over all these people that you don't normally see at Christmas time, and you put up the tree. And inevitably, tempers flare. You're putting up the tree for a couple hours. I'm like 4 or 5 years old, and I do like one ornament per hour. So, it's kind of slow going there. So we all get a little frustrated. And so we're all kind of, tackling this huge task together that just becomes so monumental that it's just a real pain. And in the background is this classical Christmas music. So that's why I hate it. No offense to my mom at all, even though she'll probably take offense to this, but that's just, I don't know, that's just the memory I have of it. And it's not like we have a dysfunctional Christmas time. It's not like that. It's just, you know how it goes. You're slaving over the food all day, then you got to put up the tree. Who wants to deal with that, right? No. And then you put on this Christmas music, and I don't like it. But what I do like, there is some Christmas music I do like, and I would like to touch upon that. There's only a few songs that I can consistently listen to. If you throw on the radio, I can listen to that stuff. It's okay, but a lot of Christmas music that's on the radio, it's either really happy and really Christmassy. They work in the jingle bells in there. They work in the bells, Christmas bells, or they work in, or it's like a depressing song, right? It's like you're like opening your door to the wide open desert, and you see the wise men see the star, and it's like, oh, we gotta trek out there. And then they sing about the trek, and it's just a little more depressing. So there's just two polarizing sides of the Christmas music universe, I guess. That doesn't make any sense, but I don't really care. You know what I mean. it's either extremely happy and doped up on candy canes, or it's extremely depressing and dark for whatever reason. And that's the thing about this classical Christmas music. A lot of these songs were written, the classic songs that have been around forever were written for, choral arrangements or, for playing in a church or something. And, so, I can respect that. That's fine. But when I go, when I put on Christmas music, I don't want to feel like I'm walking into a funeral, which is what it feels like when you play like, I don't know, like Silent Night. It's like you're just on your way in and everyone's marching slowly. Or like Little Drummer Boy. That's another kind of depressing one if you go the classical side of it. Now, I'm sure rock bands have taken these that I haven't heard before and put their own spin on it, which is fine. And that's some of the music I want to highlight here. So, my top Christmas songs that I highly recommend. I'll put these in a playlist for you and put the link in there in the description of the video. That I want to point out for you. Number one, let's just start with the best here, okay? Number one, the number one Christmas song that I can say safely, without a doubt, this is definitely, I think it's my number one. And this slipped by me. You know what, Spotify? Didn't sync it. Didn't sync it up. Damn it. Okay. Let me search for it here, make sure I got the correct title. This escaped me this year. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not in the car a lot. I don't listen to the radio a whole lot. But it's by The Waitresses. And is it just Merry Christmas? What is it called? The Waitresses. I'm sorry, I'm wasting your time here Googling this. This is what I would have together if I knew what I was doing, but I don't. So, we'll just deal with it. Called Christmas Rapping, okay? Do, Merry Christmas, that song? Great song. Number one Christmas song of all time. Book it, take it to the bank, write a check, deposit it, invest, and watch your millions grow with this song, okay? This is the song of the year, of the century. It's a great song. And you know why? One of the reasons I like it, it's Christmas cheery, but it's also kind of a little quirky, like me. I'm like cheery and quirky, It's like telling a story about this girl who, like, I guess she followed this guy around all year. It was like, oh man, I really wanted to have this New Year's kiss with this guy. No, I don't really know if that was the case, but this is my guy for the year. And am I recording the video? Let me double check this here. This is embarrassing. No, it's not. I don't care. Yes, I am. Okay, good. Had to check the video there. We gotta keep it intact here. We gotta keep what little class this show has at the forefront here. So this song, it's kind of telling a story about this chick who she sees this guy, right? Like you do. You see your love out there, and you're like, oh man, if I could just talk to that person, but I can't because I'm afraid. But you shouldn't be afraid, and that's one of the life lessons we're going to sprinkle in here. Don't be afraid to talk to people, okay? And, she ends up going to the store because she forgot cranberry sauce. Oh, my God, I forgot the cranberries for the Christmas dinner. Oh, are you eating alone, too? We should eat together, and now we should get married on Christmas. I don't think that really happens, but, you get it. Telling the story, telling a nice little fairy tale with a bow on top so you can unwrap it Christmas time, So that's got to be my number one. Number two, oh, man, this is very difficult. You know what? I'm going to have to say Father Christmas by the Kinks, another amazing rock Christmas song. This doesn't sound like a Christmas song per se. Lyrically, it is. It's about Father Christmas and how he needs to give the kids money because they don't want toys, they want that green, and it's just a great rock and roll song. There's a little bit of Jingle Bells in there, obviously. And one of the things I really like about this song, at the end of the chorus, there's a little guitar lick in there that they sprinkle in there right at the end. Fantastic. Love it. Hit the nail on the head every time. They don't mess it up. They don't change it too much throughout the song. They just go for it every time. And it's just, cornerstone of the song. And if I could add, Man Overboard covered this song on the Punk Goes Christmas album. I fully support the Punk Goes albums. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's these bands aren't even punk. You know what? Shut up, okay? Nobody cares. It's the thought, okay? Pop punk rock, doesn't matter, okay? It's just a word. Just listen to the music and enjoy it. Why can't you do that? Can you just do that for me, please? If you listen to this video cast and you want to take away one thing as a listener and as a person to get better at and improve yourself, I would say just listen to the music you like, and the music you don't like, think about why you don't like it. Maybe think about why you could like it, and then reassess and listen again. But just listen to the music you like. Don't worry about the name. Don't worry about if it's punk goes, if it's rock goes, if it's heavy metal. I don't care what it's called. Okay, it's good. Anyway, what I was trying to say is Man Overboard covered this, and it's a pretty good cover. I like it. They kind of went a little bit more traditional route. They didn't mess with it too much. Another song on there, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays by NSYNC, covered by, I think it was Issues covered it for the Punkos Christmas album, Issues. I like that song. I like the original song. That version of it, I can appreciate it. They kind of tweaked it a little bit. Like I said, with cover songs, you can either go by the book a little bit or you can tweak it completely. Issues kind of tweaked it a bit. They changed some of the lyrics, which, me personally, not my preference, but it's still a pretty good song. It rocks pretty hard. And they, the original song by NSYNC, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, is really cheery, and they kind of put a dark spin on it a little bit at some points, which I like. But with the Man Overboard song, what I'm trying to tell you here is Father Christmas, that guitar lick, they don't do that, I don't think. I don't think they do that. Did they do that? No, I don't think they do it. And I would have liked to have seen that, but at the same time, I mean, if you're doing a cover song and you're doing the exact song, it's not like why do it, because it's still a great song, and then they have that in the bank. And it's cool to listen to Man Overboard and these other bands do these cover songs. But, maybe they want to switch it up a little bit. Also, Christmas snuck up on me. I kind of want to get a cover song out there. You're here with the Sam with Glasses YouTube channel. That's also my band name, the brand name, okay? And, it just snuck up on me. Sometimes bands just got to push it out. I don't know if that happened in this case, but for me personally, I had some things lined up that I wanted to do. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. I might be. You never know, but... we'll try and get it out there because I think it'd be cool, the Christmas songs I have in mind. But you never know. Sometimes you get in this time crunch for the holidays and you just got to get it out there. And it's still good, still listen to it and still love it. Number 3. This is fantastic. I can't stop playing this song, and I just found out about it recently in a giant Christmas playlist that I put together. I kind of got this Christmas playlist going on Spotify. And I just throw everything Christmas into it. I just search Christmas, and I just find it, and I put it in there. And it is Jason Mraz, Winter Wonderland. If you don't know Jason Mraz, he's kind of a pop, mostly, a pop artist, but he's got some traces of R&B and a little bit of rapping type stuff in there where he bounces around his lyrics and stuff like that. Really, really talented and amazing. And this version is just basically acoustic and his voice, and it's so good. Oh, man, it's so good. If we could play music on this podcast without getting into trouble, which I doubt that I can do that, I would play it for you. But I can't, so just go listen to it. I'll put it in the playlist in the description here of the video. Number 4. Now... take these numbers with a grain of salt because these are all really great songs. Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. Got to have the rap Christmas song on there. Classic. Haven't heard that on the radio much either. I know I said I don't listen to the radio a whole lot because I'm not in the car a whole lot, but I did do a trek up to San Francisco for Thanksgiving and back, and this did not come on one time. I had to dig in there. Another one of those songs that, just comes around once a year, and you're just like, oh, man, this is such a good song. Christmas in Hollis, Run DMC, look it up. You should know that. I mean, let's be honest here. What are we on? Number 5? Yeah, I got a shout out here. Bayside, Angels We Have Heard on High. This probably, I don't know how many people know about this song, but it's fantastic. I can't really say too much more about it. It's just great. Great example of how you take a classic, like I said before, the chamber choral song, Angels We Have Heard on High, and just turn it into a straight up rock song. Can you see my face here? Does it matter? Does anyone want to see my face? Does this work? I don't know. How do we do this? This is what happens when you got the one man show. It just goes off the rails real easily. And this is what we'll do. We'll do a little bit of this action. Angels We Have Heard on High, really great, fantastic harmonies, and the melody, sticking to the classics there, but really do it up with the harmonies in true Bayside fashion. Good guitar work all around. Great rock and roll Christmas song. Check it out. I think my dad actually might have told me about this song. Did he? I don't know. Shout out to my dad anyway for being great, and shout out to my mom too. Don't want to get you down with that Christmas story. That's just me. That's just my messed up memories as a kid. But Christmas is a happy time, and you should be happy during Christmas time. Number 6. This is so good. Such a great song here. Santa Claus Is Coming to Town, Bruce Springsteen. This is another great example of how you take a classic and you tweak it a little bit. You keep the bass line there, and then you just go nuts with it, like in the bridge here with the You Better Be Good, for goodness sake, of this song. Great part of the song. I strongly suggest this. There's only a live version of this song. It was a live single. If you don't know Springsteen, you should, first of all. Second of all, he's a real true live performer. Incredible. And this is another one of his many songs that I guess you can only get live. So, it's the live recording. I don't think there's a studio recording of this. I don't know if it would have worked. Of course it would, because everything that Springsteen does works. But, great song. Check it out. Number 7 on the list. If you are keeping track here, shout out to Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Christmas song. What is this called? Why is it not? No, it's not up on the housetop. It's the one about the hula hoop, I just want a hula hoop. Go with that Alvin and the Chipmunks version. There's actually a version of this done by Tegan and Sara. It's just called Christmas Song, I think. And Tegan and Sara do it, and they do a pretty good. I like it a lot because I love this song, and it's kind of weird, because it's like the guy Dave singing and then messing with his voice. To make the chipmunk sounds. If you didn't know that, I'm sorry to have ruined your view on the chipmunks there. But it's just a guy pretending to be the chipmunks with his voice. And Tegan and Sara do a little bit of that in the beginning, and then they kind of break out into like a normal sing song, if you will. They just sing it normally, which is awesome. And then they go back and forth with that, but the main singing is done in their normal voices. It's a really good song, and you should, I think it's called a Christmas. No, it's called the Chipmunk Song. This is what it says on Tegan and Sara here. The Chipmunk Song, Christmas Don't Be Late. That's the one. So look that up. That'll be in the playlist too, and I'll put both versions in there just so you can, check it out there. That's one of the things I like to do. That's what I want to do with my Christmas cover songs if I get them out there. Take a song that not many people, like the Alvin and the Chipmunk song, kind of goes by the wayside a little bit. You grew up with it maybe, and then it kind of falls off. Nobody's going to play that on the radio. You got the scratchy vinyl recording in there in the background maybe, so they don't want to put that on the radio, So Tegan and Sara bringing that back, I think that's really cool. And I'm into it, and that's what I'm going to try and do with my Christmas songs. Is that it? Is that all here? I don't know. See, with these other Christmas songs, like I've been watching Christmas movies too. I don't want to get into a movie review here, but I've been watching, like Home Alone. There's a lot of good Christmas songs in there, at different points, and it's just like, I don't know if it's just played out because I've heard these so much, but the definitive versions of classic Christmas songs, they just don't do it for me. They don't get me in the Christmas spirit. They don't get me all bah humbuggy. Is that a word? I don't care. I just made it up. But, I'm not. They don't get me super excited or anything. When I hear them, I'm kind of just like, what? Just, I don't know. I don't know what you want from me, Christmas. All I want is a good rock and roll song. If you're going to cover the song piece by piece, that's fine. Throw a little beat behind it maybe. I don't want the violins, like I said. It's just this. I don't know. I'm not into it. Not into it. Like I said, I feel like I'm marching into a funeral or out of a funeral, and I don't like that feeling, you know. And hopefully, I don't ruin the Christmas songs for you. But that's just my personal opinion. So we'll have the playlist there in the description, and that's what I think about Christmas songs. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and tell me what you think. If you think I'm an idiot, that's fine. Let me know why. This is about finding out why. Okay, this isn't just like I have this opinion and it's unchangeable. No, you could tell me. You could say, you know what, Sam, here's why you should appreciate classic Christmas music, and then I'll say, That's what I'll say. I'll say, and maybe I'll go back and listen to these songs and be like, you know what, that person was right, and that's what you should do as a music listener and a music fan. That's what we try and do here on the podcast. I think that might sum it up for great Christmas songs. I think that's all I got. So now on to my albums of the year. Some of these might surprise you. These are just really off the top of my head. This isn't a definitive list. I may get a definitive list going at some point, but this is just off the top of my head what I spun the most. And there's also one in there that I didn't spin a whole lot, but I really, really liked it, and I think you should be into it. Should I rank these? Yeah, I'll rank them. Number 5, album of the year. And I'll explain a little bit. I'm going to go through the list and then I'll explain them. Number 5, Ariana Grande, Yours Truly. Number 4, Jimmy Eat World, Damage. Number 3, I messed this up. But okay. Forever the Sickest Kids, Jack. Number 1 is going to be Man Overboard, Heart Attack. Number 2, I don't really have a number 2, but I have a slot for number 2, and that will be Elvis Costello and the Roots. I think it's called Wake Me Up a Ghost. If you don't know, they did an album together, Elvis Costello and the Roots. Really awesome album. And it kind of just, it's not something I played to death, but it's just something that when I put it on, I really enjoyed it. With Questlove back there dropping the beats. It's real beat based, and then it's kind of like I guess it would be like bluesy, kind of rock, old time rock, bluesy a little bit. But I don't know, maybe I'm describing that wrong. But you should listen to it. You should definitely listen to it, and it's awesome. It's the kind of thing where you put it on and then you kind of just chill, or you could put it on and like if you let's say I'm cooking myself up a nice omelet or something. I don't really do that too often, but put it on and just kind of relax and be like, yeah, man. Cooking this, flipping that egg, you know what I'm saying? That's like what the music just kind of gets you going, like, yeah, this is good stuff, so I like that one. Ariana Grande, Yours Truly. This in my mind, I know, don't get on my case about her not writing her own songs or whatever. I don't care about that, okay? I just like the music, and I like her as a person. She's also a TV star, which is cool, I guess. She brings a lot of her fans from TV into her music, which is good for her. Kind of a lot of crossover into the Justin Bieber pop star territory, although you'll notice that I think she's a real good example of how to be a classy pop star. She's also really young, but she's not doing any crazy, dumb Miley Cyrus type stuff. Miley Cyrus has her reasons for doing that. That's fine. I don't really care, but I'm not into it. I'm a big fan of the class that Ariana Grande brings to the table. And the songs are amazing. And her voice is amazing. If you look at live videos, which I'll also post in the description, she's just got a really killer voice. And this album is real, brings back the 90s R&B, kind of like Mariah Carey type sound. There's also a little bit of doo-wop in there. That's the video I'll post down there. I'll post one of those songs. But a lot of there's a couple songs where it's her doing the hook and the verses, and then there's a rapper that comes in, which is really cool. Mac Miller's on there, Big Sean's on there. Not a huge fan of Big Sean, but Mac Miller's really cool. And so yeah, just real classy. How to be a good pop star, if you ask me, and be famous for the right reasons, for her voice and her talent, and not just for making a scene or how she dresses or anything. Which there's something to be said for people who do that and can make a living off of it. But again, it's not what I'm into. This is my opinion, people, okay? I'm not here to make sweeping moral judgments. It's just my opinion. Jimmy Eat World, Damage. I kind of fell off. I don't want to say I fell off the Jimmy Eat World wagon because I didn't, but I think their album after Chase This Light I wasn't really into. And then this kind of brought me back full circle a little bit. One of my favorite songs, I would say, favorite Jimmy Eat World songs ever is track number 1 on this, Appreciation. I think it's called Appreciation, which my friend Jim describes as the textbook Jimmy Eat World song, the most Jimmy Eat World song ever. Just really good. Every song is just really good. And I don't know how they do this, Jimmy Eat World. We'll have to do a Jimmy Eat World cast where we dissect the albums here, because they just every song is just written in a way that it you feel like this is how it was supposed to be written, and every melody and every harmony and every guitar line that comes in, they're all perfectly placed. They're all in the right spots. Everything's coming in and fading out at the right time, and it's just a really incredible songwriters. And I like their music. They're really good, and they're like one of my favorite bands, and I just really think that you should like them too. So yeah, this album, it has a lot of bangers on it, but it has a couple deep cuts. I think Your Room it's called on the self-titled or Bleed American. Kind of the slower songs that are a little bit more underappreciated, but then become like cult hits. Some of that on here. So a little bit of everything. Really good. Forever the Sickest Kids, Jack. This is, I can't even, oh man. This is one of those albums that, how do I describe this? I think the best music that I listen to is the kind where I put it on and I can't do anything besides listen to the album. Like I am fortunate enough to have a job where I can listen to music while I do some work there throughout the day. And I had a problem with this album, as well as Man Overboard, we'll get to in a second, because I would put it on and I'd find myself becoming less productive, so I had to turn it off. And I think that really signifies a great album, because it's just so good that I have to be consumed by it. I have to really give it my full attention. And that's what Jack by Forever the Sickest Kids does. Really good pop punk, I guess more on the pop side. I've showed this to a lot of people who are into like Blink and into Man Overboard, and they're like, yeah, it's too poppy for me. A lot of really good hooks and harmonies and stuff like that, which I think is awesome. So I love it. A little bit of synth here and there, which is fine. It's not, it's not overdone with the synth or anything. Just kind of like doing this, massaging the album out there, massaging the fine tuning and massaging the kinks out of there. You know what I'm saying? You probably don't, because I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying it. So I really like that one. Number 1 album, Man Overboard, Heart Attack, by far. I could not stop listening to this. I still can't. Every song on this is just incredible. Same thing with Jack. It just demands my full attention when I listen to it. Tons of good hooks and, a lot of dueling vocals, kind of in the same vein as Blink or Taking Back Sunday, a little bit, just shades of that. But it's really, really amazing. And I think it's like 15 songs too. That's another thing, And the Ariana Grande album is a good amount of songs too. I keep seeing all these people and label. I guess this is coming from record labels that say, if it was up to us, we would just have singles and we wouldn't have full albums. But then like Katy Perry, Ariana Grande, and you see it with other bands too. They're just releasing albums with tons of songs on it, like 15, 16, 17 songs, which is all, I love that. I think that's really cool, but I don't know why they're saying that, single, like I don't see any evidence of that singles are really going to be the way to go. And if you look at Beyonce, who just dropped a surprise album, with, I think it's like 14 songs and 17 videos, excuse me. She broke some record for iTunes and sold like really close to 1 million digital downloads worldwide in a couple of days. So I don't really see the logic behind saying, this single is the new album or anything like that, or the albums are dead. I think if the hype is there and the talent is there and the artist puts out a good album, people will be into it. Now you might be able to get 5 or 6 singles off of that album, but hopefully people will still appreciate the album as a whole, So, Man Overboard, Heart Attack. Also, saw these guys at Warped Tour in San Diego, or Chula Vista. And really just amazing. Just completely slayed it. They're really good. They have two vocalists. And I have a friend who, I know people who don't really like Man Overboard because they think that they're ripping off Blink by having two vocalists and by having the name Man Overboard, which is the name of the Blink song. And some of their songs allude to other Blink songs. But they do not sound like Blink. You know, Blink is Blink, Man Overboard is Man Overboard. It's like who didn't grow up on Blink, you know? Man Overboard, I'm sure Forever the Sickest Kids, bands like, you know, that are coming up right now and blowing up. We all grew up on Taking Back Sunday and Brand New and Blink and Jimmy Eat World, and you know, they don't sound the same, so you can't fault them for having Blink as an influence, because Blink influenced so many bands. And I think if you have a problem with that, then you should get over yourself, okay? Listen to the music, and if you like it, then you like it. And you should like it because it's good, and it is good, so you should like it. Oh, man, these people, man, I could go on about it, but I won't. I won't waste your time here. You know? Let's see, what do we got here? What do we want to talk about here? You know what? Let's check this out. I'm a vinyl collector here, right? If you don't know, now you know. You should know. Who is this kid? Man, just ruining everything. I don't know. The video went out there for a second there. Had to swoop in and save the day. So back to the vinyl here. I originally started buying vinyl only records that I really, really liked. And that was kind of my policy. And then, I am fortunate enough to live near a thrift store where you can get $2 records. Any used record is $2, basically. There's a huge section with tons of cool stuff. And then I went in there and I started looking at covers, the cover of the record, and I was like, well, that's a cool cover. Maybe I should just get this and see what it sounds like. And then I started saying, well, like, I'm not obsessed with this album, but I really like what this band is doing, and I want to support them, so I want to buy it, and then, I can get into the album later. So, I started buying this vinyl, and I started keeping an eye out, and I noticed that this band called Anamanaguchi, who are a chiptune band. If you don't know what chiptune is, it's more or less, I don't want to say it's video game music, but it's, a lot of, what they do is that they hook up a Nintendo console to their guitar and they play through it. So it sounds all like a video game kind of, but, it's good. It's kind of, they describe it as a rave mixed with a pop punk show, I guess mixed with a video game or something. So I really like them, and it's good music to kind of zone out to. If you need to get some stuff done, you just throw it on, because there's not a lot of vocals in here. It's just a lot of instrumental. So they had a Kickstarter, and we'll talk about Kickstarter in a minute, but they had a Kickstarter for their new album, and absolutely smashed the record for like a music Kickstarter. I think now they're the number 2, one of the top, I'll say one of the top 3. I think they're number 2 in the most successful music Kickstarters. And this is what I got from it. I think this was like $50, which is awesome because they signed it. I don't know if you can see this. They signed it. And this presented a little moral conundrum here for me because, I don't normally keep the plastic here. But you can see, if you can see this, there's some stickers here that are really awesome that I wanted to keep. And also, this is a double LP here. And this is amazing. If it's not colored vinyl, then you can get the hell out. And that's me saying it without any knowledge of what it takes to make a colored vinyl by a band, so don't be offended. But I just like it. Let me get this. Am I really going to have to pull this plastic off? Here we go. This is amazing. It is clear, I said it, clear with neon splatter. Look at this. It's beautiful. I can't even handle it. Oh, man, look at that. That is just, there it is. There it is. You can see, if I put my hand up to it, you might be able to see my hand a little bit through there. Neon splatter, clear. Kickstarter, I think this is just a Kickstarter variant, I'm going to assume. And it's amazing. That's so cool. When you can get something like that and support a band that you're into, that's what it's all about right there, Although they should make these easier to put back in there we go. Not a problem. I'm just an idiot. So there's your vinyl viewing for the week. What do you like to collect? You collect vinyl? What do you collect? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. Share with your friends who collect vinyl. Get them in on this, okay? It's a vinyl revolution, okay? And speaking of Kickstarter, nice little segue. Why is vinyl a new revolution here? Why is it coming back? Because people want a physical good, okay? I don't want to First of all, I don't want to download a file. This is why I haven't downloaded the Beyonce album yet, because where am I going to put it, okay? I need to record videos on my phone, put them and use them for the podcast, okay? I don't have room for your album. I'm sorry, I just don't. And that's why I use Spotify. But, I want to support artists that I really like. So that's why vinyl is cool. It's a cool thing to have. It's a cool thing to play. And when you have, cool colors and stuff like that, I mean, it's just a cool thing to look at. I could conceivably, if I wanted to, I could put that in a frame and just hang it, and it would look awesome in my den, which I don't have. But I think Kickstarter for musicians, I think it leaves a lot to be desired. Not on Kickstarter's end, but I think musicians have to kind of up their game a little bit. Anamanaguchi was one of the Kickstarters that I've seen that really went above and beyond what I think an artist Kickstarter should be. And there's two classes of musician in the Kickstarter world. You have the really small indie musicians, and you have huge, like Anamanaguchi is a known band. They smashed their goal on Kickstarter, and I've just seen, even with bands that are kind of well known, it's a trek to get that Kickstarter money. It's not like day one. If you're a mid-sized band, it's not day one you reach your goal. And I think part of that has to do with, how the bands market to their fans and stuff like that. But I think another part of it has to do with, what they're offering as the Kickstarter reward. Because a lot of times, with music, that's all well and good. Like, obviously, we all love music, but we're in a culture that, I pay monthly to stream music. I don't pay to get files from you anymore. A lot of people don't do that. And I think that's part of what the rewards are, heavily skewed towards, downloads and stuff like that. And like a t-shirt or like a poster, which is cool. But I mean, think outside the box a little bit. So, do vinyl if you can. Anamanaguchi did chiptune lessons, so like a chiptune school to teach people how to make music like this, which is awesome. And I think that's really cool. They also they put their music on did they do a thumb drive? But they put it on a Nintendo cartridge that you could put into a Nintendo and play the music with like visuals and stuff like that. That's just, I know that their funds kind of gear towards that. Like you say, how do I do that? But, think outside the box and just search it on the internet. How would I do this if I wanted to? How could I put my music on a Nintendo cartridge? It might be easier than you think. How could I, if you're a real rock and roll band and you're a party band, how can I make band shot glasses or stuff like that? And then sell those. It's legal to sell shot glasses to anyone, right? Yes, it is. Don't do anything illegal. Don't be stupid, okay? I think the Skype sessions with musicians and, coming to your town to play a show, that's really cool, but it's also like, it can be difficult because how much are you really getting from this person? And then are they going to want to pay for you to travel? Or are you going to want to travel just for this one person? You very well may be able to do that, but there are some people who might not be able to do that. And I think that rewards, like physical goods, anything branded can take the place there or, supplement your Kickstarter rewards. So remember that if you're doing a music Kickstarter. And for the record, I think Kickstarter is a good thing. I know a lot of people say like you're just throwing your money away because they're not really obligated to give you the product, or you're basically investing money to give these people a huge round of capital to do what they want to do in the case of non-music Kickstarters, and then you're not seeing an investment on that money. You're not getting paid for that investment. You're just getting the product. Excuse me. Coming down with a little something here. Trying to kick it with that airborne and vitamins, you know what I'm saying? Got to keep it healthy on that health tip, you know what I'm saying? But I still think, what's the alternative to Kickstarter? There isn't really a good one as far as like if Kickstarter implemented something that was like, okay, if you donate $100, then you make money off of this product because you're an investor. That would be amazing, and I would be all for that. But that doesn't exist, and I think not using Kickstarter isn't going to make that happen. So I think you should use it since it's there. I think it's a good thing. That's my opinion as of this very moment. So what else do we got here? Christmas music. Let's take a little advice here. How are we doing on time? I think we're doing pretty good on time. Glad to see you subscribing there, by the way. See your subscribers there. We love our YouTube subscribers. If you want to subscribe, go to samwithglasses.com. Click the subscribe button there, and you can get these podcasts in video form, videocasts, and everything that comes with them. And we appreciate that. This question comes from my man Russ. And he says, any tips on recruiting band members for bands trying to get started? This is a really difficult question to answer. And I don't have an answer. No, I'm kidding. I do have an answer. And I don't know if it's going to be great, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to point you in the right direction here, Russ, because that's what we do with the advice here. Number one, I'd say go through your friends and say who wants to start a band. You got to look for the right person though. And this is what another friend of mine, Brian, touched on. It's tough to get the people who are dedicated and who want to put in the same amount of work as you do, who want to get on the same page. So you got to find someone what you're trying to find really is someone who's on the same page. Where I would look first is I would ask my friends in my area, if you don't have success with that, there are groups. I know just by searching Facebook, and I'm in some Facebook groups that are like Philadelphia DIY Collaborative Collective or something like that. I'll post the link there. Those type of groups, Facebook groups and Facebook pages are great ways to meet other musicians and just say, hey, is anyone looking to join a band? Anyone need a guitarist or whatever you do? So I would say search out those groups and those like-minded types of people. Go where, find the type of people you want in your band and go where they are. If you're into pop punk, maybe go to a pop punk show and, just make friends there and talk to people and see what people are into. Talk to the bands. A lot of those smaller shows you can say, do you know anyone looking for a guitarist or whatever? Or do make those connections and kind of see where you can go with that. Craigslist is also an option. I don't really as a last resort, I recommend Craigslist. I just think there are better ways to do it. I think word of mouth is really good. When I moved to San Diego, I got into a really good band here. I'm not in it anymore, unfortunately. And that was word of mouth. Someone just saw, I had a drum cover video up and someone saw it and said, hey, you're pretty decent. And my friend, no, they didn't say that. They said you're incredible. Let's be honest. No, I'm not really sure what they said, but the point is they looped me in with a friend who needed a drummer, and it was a good fit. We were into the same types of music, and it worked for a while, and then it didn't work because various reasons. Nothing against the band. Very amicable split. We'll get into that later at another time. But find people that want to do the same thing as you, that have the same goals as you. If you just want to make music, that's awesome. But, if you want to try and tour or you want to try and get signed, you want to find people from the outset who have those same goals and who can grow with you as a musician. I'll also say that you shouldn't put off making your own music just because you don't have someone, to bounce ideas off of. I think you should still be writing and recording and stuff if you can, just so that, get your chops up, get good at what you want to do. And then that way you can bring that to other people and say, hey, here's what I'm into, and say, give them a little example. So I think that would be my advice. Start with your friends, then go on to some Facebook groups, and then maybe go to shows and just make those connections, see friends of friends, see if they know anybody, And especially if, I don't know if you're still in college, Russ, but if you're in any type of scene, go to the local scene, seek out those local groups. And if you're still in college, go into your college music scene and kind of look for those groups and types of people and just kind of ask around and get there through word of mouth. Hopefully that was sufficient for you. If not, I would say Google it, but I think that was pretty good. My first instinct is always to Google things. I love giving advice, but if you ever feel my advice is insufficient, the answer is out there, and I'd love to help you get there. And that's what I do. A lot of people think that I'm a genius. No, a lot of people think that my family's always like, how do you do this on your iPad? How come you know all this stuff? And it's like, because I Google it. I just search it. I got another question here. Let's see, how are we doing on time? I think we got time for another question here. Another question from my man Brian Walker. B Walk, what's going on? And he's a great guy. I love Brian. You never know what he's gonna say. That's one of the reasons I love him. Kind of like me. But so here's what he says. Where is it? I got to get organized here, people. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Any tips for promoting yourself without constantly posting to Facebook? And also tips for finding resources for blogs that respond. What he's referring to here is, if you get a list of blogs that you want to submit your music to, sometimes it can be difficult to get a response. There's a lot of things that a blog is looking for. They're not just going to listen to everything that comes through. They can't do that, because there's a lot that goes into it. But as for promoting yourself, I say again, don't think of it as just Facebook or just the internet. Get out there, make friends with other bands, go to shows, push your demo CD. Even if not too many people listen to your CD, or pass out flyers with a link to your music, a downloadable link or a free listen. It doesn't have to be a CD, but get your music into the hands of fans and get that FaceTime. Get in front of people's faces. That's what I would do. That's what I will do when I start pushing my tunes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you don't want to be posting the same stuff on Facebook every day. So good looks on there. Good look on that. Good job. Good job, Brian, on that. Very nice. Also, making friends with bands, I think is something that you're going to need to do if you want to be a successful band. Trade shows with each other, and then you'll end up trading fans with each other. Go to your favorite bands, or your friends' bands' merch table and hang out and just make friends. It's very important to be real throughout all this. Let me stress that point. I know that you know that, Brian, but for people out there, don't fake it. Make real friends. Okay, like the band Real Friends, which they also have a great Christmas song on the Punk Goes Christmas CD. Check that out. But then you'll end up trading fans, and it'll be this big, nice little scene that you create for yourself there. And as far as finding resources for blogs that respond, I'd say first off, make sure you have your shit together. As far as what you're going to submit to them, a lot of blogs would like a little, I guess they would like a little blurb on a band, maybe a link to a press kit or something. And a link to like a SoundCloud where they can stream your song. Nobody wants to download a 100 meg wave file, only to find out that the band's not good. Me personally, I would probably do a SoundCloud link. I'd probably do a little blurb and say, hey, I see that you cover bands like this, and this is why I think you'd be into me. I kind of sound like this. Here's a link if you want to check it out. Here's a link to the press kit or whatever and some photos. And, as much research as you can do, the better. You don't want to just say like, oh, I'm great, so you got to put me on there, So, and find the right fit. You don't want to just spam blogs and say, say like, hey, listen to my music, because tons of bands are doing that. So what are you going to do to make yourself stand out? You got to say, this is why you should listen to my music, and this is why my music fits on your blog. As far as finding the resources, me personally, I would probably take advantage of your local scene. Just search local Philly music blogs. I'm sure you know of some, and then through word of mouth, if you have friends who write, or if you have friends who are in, the PR type of world and are into music, maybe they read blogs and stuff like that. But any local smaller type blogs, I would hit them up in your local scene. And then once you've kind of established yourself in the local scene, you can go to, South Jersey, or I don't even know where you're based out of, Brian, right now. I think it's Philly. Yeah, it's definitely Philly. So, Philly, and then move on to like South Jersey, or, wherever you want to go, the tri-state area, and, hit up blogs in the whole area. That's what I would do. So that's my advice to you. And, is that where we want to cap it? I think we'll cap it there. So if you like this video and you like what I'm talking about, share, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think. If you want advice as a musician, and you have any questions, don't worry about how stupid you sound. Just let me know. And thanks for listening.